Hare Krishna, welcome to all the devotees. Hare Krishna. So let us start. Let me plug in. I'm trying to plug in my not working. Okay, let us do invocation prayers. Nana Shastra Vicharane Kanipuno Sattharma Sanstapako Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanya Karo Radha Krishna Padara Vinda Bhajana Nandena Mattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesh Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Okay, let us start for today's discussion. Before we do that, can we have a small recap? Something that you would like to share from the day 1 or day 2. Today we'll complete verse 4 and 5 together. Yes, Pandit Kadadhar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. So,
Yes.
Prabhuji, we studied there are two things which are detrimental for progress in Krishna consciousness. One is the opposite gender. It is for us, it is woman, and another one is money. So it completely destroys bhakti.
Okay. Anybody else? Previous day, yesterday. Oh.
And there are a couple of pointers that you have mentioned. The first one is material senses can never be satisfied. The second one was too much talking drains your energy. And we talked about the retirement plan for Grastas as well. So you mentioned that Grastas can plan when they can retire and engage in Krishna consciousness fully. So it can be at any point in time, 35 or 40 or 45 age, but it should be done as soon as possible so that we can engage our 100% in Krishna service.
At any age, but one should make a plan for it. Even many billionaires, those who have billions of net worth, they keep, or they try to keep at least, minimum resources with them. Hmm. So they'll be using the same clothing for years and years. Hmm. Billionaires like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and many other on the same league. So they don't keep so many collection with them of resources, their clothing, so that they can minimize their bodily needs. But their purpose is they can focus more on their business. That's how they can generate so much wealth. If the life's energy is distracted by so many things, this, that, you can't have a focus. One time Prabhupada was giving a lecture, and one devotee asked Prabhupada, Maya is very strong. As soon as Prabhupada heard, Prabhupada's Maya is not strong. Prabhupada said very heavily, your purpose is not strong. Maya is not strong. The purpose is not strong. And recently, in the month of May, no, April, in his last visit to Gurukul by His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he was asked the same question. Maya is very strong by one of the students in Gurukul, Vrindavan. Then Maharaj replied, the good news is that holy name of Krishna is stronger than Maya. So chant Krishna's name. So basically, purpose in life has to be more stronger. That's how one can evade, dodge Maya. Yes, Shubham Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, yesterday we were discussing that we sometimes lose our enthusiasm in chanting or in other devotional services. So I heard in one lecture that we have to fake it until we make it. So
What?
yeah, that's the thing, that we have to continue with the service until, even if we don't have love for Krishna or love for that in that devotional service, we have to continue it.
Whatever it takes. Without enthusiasm, devotional service cannot continue. Whatever it takes, bring it back. If one loses one's enthusiasm, confidence, patience, whatever it takes, just be enthusiastic. Have association of devotees. Discuss with some senior devotee. Take whatever help it takes. Without enthusiasm, devotion service, it becomes very hard to continue. Okay, it's not prolonged. It's not run for a long time. It is moment. It can be momently there. There are ups and downs in spiritual life, but it should not continue. One must take action when it is going down, whatever it takes. And there could be n number of reasons for the enthusiasm to go down. But there's always a reason. Where there's a will, there's a way. Krishna helps. So in life situations, yeah, Karunamai Mataji, many things will come, will disturb, will distract us, but we should always on the toes and stable in spiritual life. Yes, Karunamai Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, yesterday we were discussing about Atyahar. Atyahar leads to endeavor, prayas. So you said that we should have a simple life. We should live a simple life, and also we should know that our main purpose is to give pleasure to Krishna only. And also you gave a mantra for life, a mantra that material senses can never be satisfied.
Basically, the
And
entire
also
purpose is say, yeah. Carry on. Sorry, I thought you were finished. Sorry, carry on.
I was talking about the next thing, the Prajalpa part. But before Prajalpa, you said that we should study more and more books. If we got time, we should study books. And whenever we meet devotees, we should ask them what are we reading. Like, indeed.
Basically, the essence is in the second verse that one's life energy should be saved and should be only focused on Krishna. That is the essence of the verse. Be it a prajalpa, be it over endeavor, overeating. So life's energy should be saved only for Krishna. Everything takes time and energy. So as much as we can minimize the bodily needs, material needs, and focus on Krishna. That is the essence. Talking takes time. It takes energy. So that's how prajalpa, unnecessary talking, has to be avoided. But when you're talking about Krishna, there's a newer and newer energy. When we are Krishna conscious, we always remain young and fresh, because that is the intrinsic nature of the soul, to always glorify and talk about Krishna. Okay, let us move forward. So we'll be discussing today verse 4 and 5. Hopefully, we'll cover both the verses. Let us see. Let us first read the verse. Hmm. 4 and 5, they're long purports together to cover so many things. I had to read for 2 hours. Dadati prati ginati priyam akhyati prachati bhungte bhojate cheva sat vidim viti lakshana. Somebody can read the translation. Anybody can volunteer. Daya Matan, what you say?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dhanvat Pranam.
Hmm.
Offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable things, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasada, and offering prasada are the 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another.
So here Rupa Goswami is revealing the process to how we can associate with the devotees by performing these 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another devotee. So let us read. Prabhupada says, what is Guhyamakyati? Guhyamakyati means an experienced devotee explains, an inexperienced devotee learns from him. This is Guhyamakyati, Prichati. When a devotee distributes prasad, remnants of food offered to the Supreme Personality of Body in order to maintain our spirit devotion service. Prasad maintains the spirit of devotion service. We must accept this prasad as the Lord's grace received through the pure devotee. We should also invite pure devotees to our home, offer them prasad, and be prepared to please them in all respect. This is called Bhunte Bhajte Chaiva. So Prabhupada says the best gift one can give to other is Krishna consciousness. Obviously, we are in the association of devotees. Reciprocation is required to develop relationship. There may come a time in our situation, in our life, a situation like this, where we know everything, we know philosophy, we are very learned, but we are alone. And we are struggling with some situation in our life. We know everything. We know what is the answer, but sometimes it's very hard to apply. At those times, we need devotees who can sit with us and very simply just discuss the solution. Many times we have seen devotees are just struggling with simple things, basic things. Spiritual life on its own becomes very hard to progress, to continue on its own. So Prabhupada says, if one thinks in Bhagavatam 2nd canto, if one thinks one can advance in spiritual life all alone, he's an insane person. I'll repeat again. If one thinks he's in some hallucination, or he's an insane person. If one thinks one can advance by his own endeavor, on its own, without the association of devotees, and this is the height of insanity. So we need association devotees, and there's a way how we should associate with devotees. So first thing is mentioned, giving gift is easier as part of the giver, when you are a giver. Giving gift to someone is easier. Revealing one's mind is more difficult, especially some confidential thing, confidante. To find someone your confidant is difficult. And more difficult is taking your time and preparing something for a devotee. So this verse appears to be progressing in a progression. Giving gift is easier. Okay, you can give whatever, a bead bag, whatever. We'll discuss what can be given as a gift. The science of giving gift can be discussed in detail. But the general principle is this dadati pratiganati guhyam akhyati prichati bhunte bhojate cheva. That's how in Chaitanya Charitamrita we find 50% of the verses in Chaitanya Charitamrita describing the food, and Lord Chaitanya is having prasadam with his other devotees. That is the highest reciprocation a devotee can have with another devotee. So it appears to be, in my understanding, appears to be progressive. The reciprocation appears to be progressive. In devotion service, when we follow the instructions of the acharyas, here Srila Rupa Goswami, we get the blessings. So when we reveal our mind to a devotee, a suitable, proper devotee, who's worthy of it and who can give you proper guidance, we get the blessings of Srila Rupa Goswami. So simply by doing this, following the 6 things, one receives the blessings of the Rupa Goswami. Let us go forward. Prabhupada says, we have established this ISKCON just to facilitate these 6 kinds of loving exchanges between devotees, amongst devotees. This society was started single-handedly, but because people are coming forward and dealing with the give and take policy, the society is now expanding all over the world. And in the next paragraph, Prabhupada will say, the life of the Krishna conscious society is nourished by these 6 types of loving exchanges among the members. Therefore, people must be given a chance to associate with devotees of ISKCON, because simply by reciprocating in the 6 ways mentioned above, an ordinary man can fully revive his dormant Krishna consciousness. Sangat sanjayate kama. One's desires, very important, one's desires and ambitions develop according to the company one keeps. A man is known by the company, Prabhupada quotes here. So now what is the attitude of a giver when you're giving a gift? What should be the attitude? What do you say? I can turn my fan on. Yes, Shubham Prabhu.
Prabhuji, not expecting anything in return.
Okay. Not accepting anything in return. I'll get a more expensive gift. Or whatever, okay. Not having any expectation. Yes, Jyoti Madhuri.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. We should be thankful that the person is giving an opportunity for Vaishnav Seva.
Could you say again? Sorry, your voice is not so cracking.
We should be thankful that the front person is giving us opportunity for Vaishnav Seva.
Yeah, you're doing a Vaishnav service. What else? It's a way to advance, serve a Vaishnav. When you're giving in something to any devotee, you're serving that person, Vaishnav Seva.
Gift should be exchanged out of love, Prabhuji.
Out of love, yes. What else?
Prabhuji, that is how I can please the one who has helped me a lot.
Yeah, I can please, in a way to please a person, a devotee, particularly here. Krishna Mati, you can speak. I mean, I don't have to say you speak or you speak. You can speak. Anybody who has raised hand?
One has to be humble.
Oh,
Should
humble.
not be arrogant while giving a gift.
Okay. Karuname Mataji.
Something which is helpful for that devotee for the future also.
I can't hear you. Sorry. Again.
Hare Krishna, something which is helpful for that
Helpful.
devotee.
A gift has to be thoughtful, so that person can use it. So one has to think twice before giving gift. And the feeling that you're giving your gift with goes with the gift. And what do we expect, or should we think when we are on the receiver's end? When somebody is giving us a gift, should we accept it? No, it's Indian culture. No. Why are you taking so much trouble? Why you have to be bothered about me? Just an Indian way of saying, rejecting something. Do we have to do? Should we accept any gift if somebody's
Yes,
feeling
Prabhuji.
some feeling and some affection and love? Should we accept?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. We should accept gift.
Hmm? And how should we think? Hmm?
It's a blessing.
It's a blessing.
Yes.
It's a
We
blessing.
should be grateful.
It is just not a gift, it's a love from that person. He's expressing his, her, whatever love for you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, it depends whether you are receiving from a senior person or a junior person, because the reciprocation will be a little bit different, not lovingly, but if they are seniors, so then we have to be respectful for them, and if they are juniors, then we should be more loving towards them.
Okay. How do we feel when somebody gives us something in exchange, whatever? Not in exchange, something as a gift, whatever. How do you feel in general?
So we feel happy
Everyone feels
Happiness.
and privileged.
privileged. At least somebody has taken his time and some attention to select a gift and to decide to give it to you. Somebody is concerned about me. How many gifts we get in the world? How many times a day in a year? Usually a person. Usually, just for the sake of discussing here.
6 or 7.
6 or 7 gifts.
Twice.
You're
Twice.
One or two.
fortunate, quite fortunate.
One or two on birthdays and on Deepavali.
So
Prabhuji,
Hmm?
and I have got the gift of this laptop, and after that, my Bhakti Shastri began.
Okay. So what are the opportunities when we can give gift to devotees? What are the opportunities when we must or we can think of giving something?
On their birthdays, appearances, on their birthdays, or on Janmashtami, or on major festivals like Gaur Purnima, Radha Ashtami, Janmashtami.
Hmm.
And when we visit Dham, so probably we can choose some books, or if there's some unique bead bags or counters, we can give them.
Could be anything, depending. Could be anything depending what person likes, his likes and choices. A gift has to be given according to receiver's choice, obviously. And now let us make the question more stronger. What can we do to spoil this reciprocation when somebody has given us a gift from the receiver's end?
To spoil the momentum,
Somebody could raise hand now. Just think of what can we do? What can be done by a person to spoil that reciprocation? Shubha Prabhu.
Not using it, Prabhuji.
Not using it. And what else? Jyoti Madhuri.
And not keeping it properly and spoiling it.
Not keeping properly. Or usually what people do is, yes, Daya Madhuri.
Not accepting that.
Not accepting it. And I'll say one more thing. Giving to somebody else to use without the giver's information, without giving an update about it. So when you want to give it to somebody, update somebody who has given the gift. Proper etiquette. If it has been specifically given to you for your use, and it is only for you, the person says it is only for you. We should not give that gift to other. Keep it with yourself. Use it and service of Krishna. And let us move the question on the first side. Now, how the giver can spoil the reciprocation? How givers can spoil the reciprocation. We should know all the do's and don'ts, Certain devotees are happy for receiving the gift, but how the giver can spoil the reciprocation. It also happens. It's not just about gift. Yes, Vaibhav Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, by always bragging about it. That
I
I've
give you
given
so
my
many gifts in a year. See what I've given to you. And you don't give me anything. So what else? Pandit Gadapu, yes.
By telling the price of the gift while giving over the gift, while handing over the gift.
You don't erase the price, it's written. And you tell the price. I give you such an expensive gift. You remember? Yes, Shubham Prabhu.
Prabhuji, giving a gift which has already been forwarded by someone.
Yeah. And later that person gets to know. So it was not given actually by you. So somehow you cannot use it and you just, get away with it. Yes, Krishnapriya Madhuri.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, demanding favors.
Demanding favors and giving so many good gifts, so many. Each time you give a gift, also the receivers gets irritated. What's happening? Okay, let's move forward with Prabhupada purports. Yeah. Uh-oh. I think we missed the point. Association. The same was we discussed yesterday. Krishna consciousness doesn't have to be gained from outside. It is already inside. And only by hearing and chanting about, simply by hearing and chanting about Krishna, this consciousness is awakened. It is not artificial thing imposed on the heart. Prabhupada says, when one chants the holy name of Krishna, hears about Krishna, this consciousness is revived. So the process of devotion service, when performed amongst the devotees, becomes relishable. So here Rupa Goswami is saying how we should relish the process of devotion service amongst the devotees. And the dormant Krishna consciousness that we have inside, within our heart already, it becomes revived when we perform hearing and chanting in association of devotees. So when we are in the association of devotees, we have collective devotional strength. Together, the strength of all the devotees is collected, and it creates a strong transcendental vibration where it becomes conducive to get enlightened, to understand spiritual matters. On your own, when you're reading a book, maybe you understand something. When you discuss with someone else, Tushanti cha ramanti cha, bodhyanta parasparam. When we discuss spiritual content with other devotees, both devotees become satisfied and happy. So, Krishna consciousness movement is, Prabhupada says, I've created this movement so that devotee can inspire each other. Not, Prabhupada says further, kick each other, like pulling and kick each other. So we have this society of devotees so that we can inspire each other. So real Vaishnava means who inspires each other. Even if you have to give a feedback, something as as a feedback, it should be such that it must be for the improvement of the other person, and other person must feel inspired to follow. Sometimes we say, oh, I'm a very straightforward person. No, we must inspire devotee. Well, Vaishnava means, Srila Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj says, Vaishnava means one who inspires other Vaishnavas, who always inspires other. Contributing and distributing the holy name of the Lord is a sublime example of contributing and giving charity. Charity in general to the people. So the one is charity, dadati within amongst devotees, and one is contributing or distributing the holy name of Lord. One should make a point in his life, maybe a month, once in a month, maybe once in a week. You go on Harinam. You go on distribute the holy name of Krishna to everyone. And Prabhupada will write, when one distributes the holy name to other, he gets purified himself, and whosoever hears the holy name gets purified. Even the lower species of life, plants, insects, they also get purified. So the one gift we can give in general to people, everyone, is giving Hare Krishna mantra, distributing the holy name of Krishna. Prabhupada says one should open his mind in order to understand the situation of the world. Now, let us discuss about something about disclosing your mind. An experienced devotee explains, and an inexperienced devotee reveals his mind. You're on the receiver's end. Somebody has come to you and revealing his mind or her mind to you, depending on the gender, whatever. Sometimes what we find is people are looking for shoulder in their life. Some emotional support, sentiments. They have sentiments. Obviously, people, we are sentient beings, so people have sentiment, emotions. So I'll give you one case study, one scenario. You are a preacher, and somebody has come to you just to share his emotion or her emotion. He's looking for a shoulder, one shoulder. So how do we say? How do we do? You keep on shouldering to such a person? Hmm? And thereafter we'll conclude some principles of explaining and revealing one's mind in confidence. One thing we shared yesterday also, one should not share one's own bhakti with everyone. It is shared with only with suitable person. I chant 64 rounds. I read 8 hours a day, whatever. Once you start revealing those things, you will lose it. Eventually, you will see. So once mantra, once guru, once bhakti, once practices, one must hide always. That's the one thing. But it doesn't mean it cannot be revealed to a suitable person, just like your spiritual master, maybe your responsible mentor, a person who's responsible for you, or a person you can trust upon someone, and who's working with that person. Yes, he is won your heart in that way. So yeah, as a preacher, how would you respond to a situation? Somebody would like to try? Yes, Daya Mataji first, then Pandit Gadadhar.
Prabhuji, we will listen them.
Okay, listen. How long?
Maybe after listening, then we can help. Then we can decide now what is the case, why he or she is sharing something.
Okay, Pandit Gadadhar.
We will try to help by like
Maybe
preaching.
we should.
Pandit Gadadhar, yes.
Yes, we should listen, Prabhuji.
Listen.
90% of the problems will be solved while listening only.
Correct. One should not judge. See, we find very rare people in the world. Anybody who comes to Krishna consciousness with whatever reasons, maybe emotional reasons, with some distress, whatever reason may be, it's very hard to find non-judgmental people in the world. Without judgment, they can hear you. And hard to find person who can listen to you first. And that listening has to be non-judgmental. Obviously, people come for n number of reasons. So as a preacher, when we are hearing something or listening to someone, it has to be non-judgmental. Person really get hurt as soon as he detects that I'm being judged. Somebody is forming some perceptions about me. I'm being judged. First thing, as a preacher, we must learn to listen attentively. And the ways and means of perhaps somewhere in the future, you must do some session like teacher training course. What is reflective listening? So that person gets that he's heard and his feelings have been conveyed. Sort of. So I will suggest somewhere in near future you can do teacher training course 1, where you understand about how to effectively do reflective hearing. On the part of the person, inexperienced person, suppose take that role. What should be revealed and what should not be revealed? Even to senior devotee. What we're supposed to reveal? Or
Our
something about
shortcomings. Our shortcomings.
shortcomings. What else?
The
What are the
things
goals?
the things in which we want to improve.
Improve, correct. Obviously. What else? What things should be revealed? Your shortcomings. When you
Our
can
mistakes.
Somebody else? Yes, Jyoti Mataji.
Where we are finding difficulty to improve on those points. like we can discuss those points.
What should not be revealed?
Things like our personal experiences with our like reciprocations, if we have any like with any deep reciprocations or personal experiences, like with Krishna, like that.
See, one thing is, when we talk about association, always depends on your faith and relationship with the person. How much you can reveal and how much you cannot reveal. Obviously, in spiritual circles, we uphold all our discussions on spiritual matters. Certainly, people are hovering on different platforms. Certainly, there could be some other discussions other than spiritual platform. And that could be a way to bring people on spiritual platform. So, but it all depends on the faith and relationship in terms of discussion when we discuss with devotees. How much we can discuss and how much it will be or would be taken, accepted by other person depends on the faith and relationship both from both the sides. Okay. So stronger the faith and relationship with the person would be, many discussion can happen and relationship is prolonged. Now, is it, this was 5, sorry.
Prabhuji, I have question.
Yeah, please.
Prabhuji, like you said that depend on faith, we used to discuss and disclose things. So how get we know that the person is trustworthy or like or not?
That is how it is done gradually, not immediately. Not immediately reveal your heart, you reveal your heart altogether, everything. It is also a gradual process. Winning someone's faith is also a gradual process. Putting your faith on someone is a gradual process.
And what are the practical ways, like if we want to be a trustworthy for someone?
Obviously, first thing is listen attentively, pay attention.
Giving time.
As a preacher or friend, whatever, whosoever, pay attention first, and try to be as far as non-judgmental. Be reflective, and try to extend help in any way you can. It's not just listening to someone, what you can really do, contribute, and how much you can be helpful. People need help, they have crises, they may have material crises, in their family crisis, whatever. People need to be heard. It's a big service, important service in our society. Listening to devotees and helping them in whatever ways, counseling them, helping them, being with them. People don't have time. So it's a service to give your time to someone. Okay. It's one of the important service. When a devotee is wanting your time, be available, be approachable, accessible to him or her, whatever. It's a big service. And that's how trust and relationship works. You're giving your time, you're being helpful, you're extending help in whatever you can help. So that gradually builds on the trust and relationship. I think we are on this, okay.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Please.
You may ask.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so Prabhuji, if being preachers or being counselors or facilitators, we are trying to extend our help. So how to not fall in the position where we feel like we are exploited? So
Exploited means, in what sense? You are acting as a counselor for someone, as a preacher.
yes, Prabhuji.
And how can you
counseling, acting as a facilitator, or we are just doing it as a part of service, but to some at some point in time, if the feeling of like we are being exploited by so and so person, it should not be in our mind. So how to get rid of that situation for you?
Depends case to case. Obviously, we would like to help a person, but the case is a person doesn't want to take help. He's just exploiting you for the sake of devotion service, certainly one must guard himself. One must be cautious. See, one thing as a preacher, we must tell people to stand on their own feet. Don't make people dependent on you always, emotionally, socially, whatever. We must train a person to be independently thoughtful. Prabhupada says exactly. We must ignite the spirit of service, voluntary service, and train them to be independently thoughtful. The other people who are sticking on to you always, who are very emotionally dependent on you. They always need you, and we are limited. We are not Krishna. What's a verse? In Bhagavad Gita 4:11. What is that verse? What is the verse? 4:11. I just we are limited. Krishna reciprocated according to the other person. What is the verse? Famous verse 4:11. Basically, we are not Krishna. We are not Krishna. You are muted. Would you say, Pandit?
Oh, sorry. Yes. Ye yatham mam prapadyante tam state bhajamyaham.
Yeah, tam pate bhajamyaham. According to one surrender, Krishna reciprocates. If you see after repeated instruction or discussion, a person is not improving, so your level of giving time to that person will be in that exchange, in that regard. We are not there available for the people so that they can exploit us. Obviously, one must guard himself. So train people to be independently thoughtful and give them a vision how they can serve Krishna. And as a preacher or counselor or in any capacity as a facilitator, our service as a servant for them is we are their servant to facilitate in whatever way they can serve Krishna better. To that extent, we can do anything for you, for that person, if you're serving Krishna. Facilitation is okay as long as a person is serving Krishna. You're facilitating, sharing here and there, you see that person not sincere. So withhold. Obviously, we don't abandon a person altogether, but there's a way you can care from distance. Conclusion is that we should always keep company with the devotees, observe regulative principle, follow the footsteps of acharyas in full obedience, carry out the orders of the spiritual master. In this way, we shall be able to develop our devotion service and dormant Krishna consciousness. Following regulative principles, being association devotees. Now, there are 4 things. Madhyam Adhikari will discuss more in detail, but there are 4 things here. Neophyte devotee, Madhyam Adhikari, Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, and Uttam Adhikari. So Prabhupada says, one who's neither neophyte nor a Mahabhagat, Uttam Adhikari, who's on the middle status of devotion service is expected. So we have come to this level. We are supposed to be Madhyam Adhikari. Those are the preachers. We are expected to love the Supreme Lord, make friends with the devotees, show favor to the ignorant, and reject the jealous and demoniac. So we'll make this this chart. We'll show you this chart how to make transition from Kanishta to Madhyama and Madhyama to Uttama in the next verse. So I'll show you that chart. Okay, just a minute. What it says, according to the Dadati principle, an advanced devotee is supposed to spend at least 50% of his income on the service of the Lord and his devotees. I'll take questions later, but just to finish this point. Srila Rupa Goswami has had such an example in his life. When he decided to retire, he distributed 50% of his life's earning to Krishna service and 25% to his relatives, kept 25% for personal emergencies. This example should be followed by all devotees. Whatever one's income, 50% should be spent on behalf of Krishna and his devotees, and this will fulfill the demands of the Dati. And last thing, in the next verse, Srila Rupa Goswami will explain Vaishnav should be selected as a friend and how What kind of Vaishnava should be selected as a friend and how Vaishnavas should be served. Now, what do you say about 50%? If all the devotees of ISKCON, they donate, just ISKCON devotees, maybe you have 1 million devotees, whatever. If they just donate 50% of their income every month, when I did this seminar, so Maharaj was saying, we can conquer the entire world. Can conquer the entire world. If all the devotees, they donate 50%. So what do you say? Suppose, sorry, you have a question, Pandit Gadapur, before?
Yes, Prabhuji, I do have in relation to relieving one's mind.
Okay, yeah, please.
Yes. So, Prabhuji, can we reveal our salaries and the ups and downs of the Grihastha ashram to our mentor? Is it allowed or?
I'll tell you one pastime. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj was a Grihastha, Gopal Krishna Das that time. And he was married to Ekyani, I think Ekyani Mataji. So, and Prabhupada would take all account of monthly income. And that time Maharaj was earning $5,000 a month. And he was in Pepsi. He was doing advertisement for Pepsi and Cola in US. And so Maharaj's wife would explain, Maharaj, we earn this much. And Prabhupada would ask, what is your monthly expenditure? So Prabhupada, we spend about $500 a month. This is our monthly expenditure. And just $4,500 Prabhupada would keep with himself. And Prabhupada would give $500 to Maharaj's wife. And later, it so happened one day, Prabhupada was giving lecture, and they were all sannyasis were sitting. And behind, because Gopal Krishna Das that time had his standing round, so he was chanting behind. So Prabhupada was giving lecture, and behind, Maharaj was chanting, and all sannyasis were hearing lecture. And Prabhupada remarked that time. He made a point that time. He said he's a real sannyasi who's living for Krishna. There's nothing for himself. So certainly anything can be done. Principle is depending on one's trust, faith, and relationship with the person. Be it a guru, be it your counselor, everything can happen depending on the trust, faith, and relationship. And this takes time, obviously. Anything to reveal to someone, it is embarrassing sometimes you're sharing your shortcomings. It takes some energy. It takes, some strength. Something is resisting from inside, not to share this information. How can I share this one? And internally, until I share something, this thing where I'm struggling for, I can't stay peaceful. So yeah, invest your time in devotees. Invest your consciousness.
It is also that until and unless we won't share, our relationship won't become strong. So is it true to say?
Obviously, gradually it will happen. Stronger the desire, stronger the anatta will come later. It will start with small things, Yeah, stronger the anatta will come later. And important, the more you take guidance, if you make yourself accountable for, the more peaceful your life becomes. Prabhupada says in Krishna book, I remember, bhakti means anything which is sanctioned by the spiritual authority. Prabhupada says, simple. Bhakti means what? You're doing bhakti or what? Earning a job, or earning a money in a job. It's a bhakti if it is sanctioned by a higher authority. Simple definition of bhakti means anything that you're doing, it is sanctioned by someone. It is bhakti. Okay. Obviously, but here, spiritual authority means proper authority. Proper authority. There are many things involved, but as far as when a person can exploit you, you don't tell your salary, obviously. So one has to be intelligent. Now, serve Krishna with money. Could someone read this? Srila Prabhupada. I think I can make it more bigger. Bigger, yeah. I can make it bigger. So please, somebody can read it. I can see. There, Madhuri, please.
Srila Prabhupada. So everyone can serve Krishna. Rainier, Arthur, Dhiya, Vacha, Shreya, Acharanam, Sadha. Either with your life, either with your money, either with your intelligence, either with your words, you can serve Krishna. Anyway, Krishna service is not checked. Atukya Apratihata. It cannot be checked. In any condition of life, you can serve Krishna. The first thing is that if you can dedicate your life, that's very good. Just like you have done. You have dedicated your life for spreading this Krishna movement, Krishna conscious movement. That is the first class. Pranaya, if you cannot dedicate life immediately, then spend 50% of your income for Krishna. Pranaya Artha, if you think you have no money, then Pranaya Artha Diha. By your intelligence, if you have got some knowledge, write some book and spread it. Krishna consciousness, and if you have no education, no money, you cannot dedicate your life, then you can spend your vachana. What is vacha?
Is it okay? Are you seeing it? Is it okay? Can somebody read it? I think she's frozen. I can see hands. I can see hands. Anybody who sees can volunteer.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can I?
Please.
Chant Hare Krishna and tell everyone. Please chant Hare Krishna. Don't be miser. If you think that you have got 1 crore of rupees, so Krishna says, Vacha. Let the bank balance remain for my children, and I go to Vrindavan and chant Hare Krishna. No, that is called Vitta Sartha. If you have got money, you must spend money. Not that money is for my children and wife, and I come to Vrindavan and chant Hare Krishna. There are many such retired persons here. They leave the money for their relatives and come here with a, of course, of course, that is good, but Krishna is very intelligent. Krishna wants to know where you have kept your money. Laughter, he inquires, you kept your money for your children and you have come to love me with your beads. No, Krishna is very intelligent. Krishna wants that whatever you have got, you have to utilize for me. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.9, Vrindavan, October 20, 1972.
Okay. So, first class thing is giving your life. If you cannot give your life, then what Prabhupada says? If you cannot dedicate your life,
Give your money.
then at least give 50% of your income for Krishna. I will discuss on this for giving 50% to Krishna. If you think you have no money, then give your intelligence, write some books, spread Krishna consciousness. If you have no education, no money, you cannot dedicate your life, then you spend your vachan. Just chant Hare Krishna and tell everyone, please chant Hare Krishna. Don't be miser. Not that you keep your bank balance in bank for your children and you go to Vrindavan and chant Hare Krishna. Prabhupada says, Krishna, what Krishna will think? Oh, you kept your money for your children and you come to love me with your beads? Laughter. Krishna is very intelligent. Prabhupada says, Krishna, one time Prabhupada says, Krishna doesn't see how much you're giving, but he sees how much you can give, how much you're holding or keeping with yourself. How much can you give? So let us discuss about 50%. What is the practical steps, or what is the practicality about giving 50%? What do you think? Jyoti Mataji.
Prabhuji, what I think is like first we can start with a particular percentage, like 5%, 10%, and gradually we can increase.
Okay, if one's income size is such that, and obviously, one's level of surrender gradually increases, he can increase certain percentage. Shivam Prabhu, what do you say?
Prabhuji, time is equal to money. So we can balance the time that we are investing in the money. Like we can balance both things.
Time is equal to money. So we can invest our time in what? In service.
Yeah, both in service and our Lakshmi also.
Okay. So you're saying instead of giving money, we can give more of the time. But Prabhupada is saying 50%. How can we make 50%? Karuna mein Mataji.
Hare Krishna Devi. I heard a lecture in one Prabhuji who said that it is difficult to give 50% because with less tax we have to retire after some time also. So we have to save for that period. So generally, what we can do is we can for now we can give our 10% to 20% in our monthly income in the service of Krishna. And when we are retiring, whatever we are saving, we can divide it. 50% we can give it to Krishna, and then 25% what
Okay. Prabhupada says 50% at least should be spent for the service of the Lord. Service of the Lord. Okay. One time, a very recent past time, I was sitting with His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and on his one side was Rukmini Krishna Prabhu. Perhaps you know Rukmini Krishna Prabhu. So he asked Maharaj, I get wherever I get, I go to any center, I get some donation. So what should I do with the money? Should I give to that center? Suppose I go to any center, Prabhuji goes to any center, Chandigarh, Ludhiana, wherever, and he gets some donation. So what should I do with the donation? Should I give it to submit in that center's account or whatever? I said use it for Krishna service. Prabhuji thought Maharaj didn't understand the question, so he tried again explaining the question. Maharaj, what should I do with money? Because if any centers, their congregation devoted, they're giving me some money. Should I give it back to the center? Or what should I do? Maharaj said, whatever money you get, you spend it for the service of Krishna. Prabhupada is not saying here, donate all the money. Obviously, as a grasta, those who can, they must donate the money. Okay, it is a good thing. But at least 50% more or less depends on one's income. Entire money is Krishna's money, should be used in service of Krishna. Whether you use it or you give. One time, Garga Muni. One time, Garga Muni, he told Prabhupada, I have some money because I'm earning, so I have some money. And I heard in your lecture, one should give money to Krishna. One should spend money for Krishna. So he said, I don't know, Krishna. So Prabhupada told him, you give it to me, I'll give it to Krishna. Either you use your money for service of Krishna, or you give to someone who can use it for Krishna, not for sense gratification. It could be 50%, 10%, depending on one's income. I don't know. See, everything should be spent for Krishna. It's not just about 50%. Every penny that you have is Krishna's money. It's not just about 50%, 10%, 15%, whatever. Donation to temple, you can decide for yourself. Even you're offering Bhoga to Krishna. It's a service. It is spent for Krishna's service. You're traveling to Holy Dham. It's a service. It is engaged in Krishna service. So many things you buy for temple, for yourself, for offering, whatever. When you're serving Krishna and whatever is needed in service of Krishna is included in the 50%. Basically, uh, if we catch two definitions here, bhakti means anything that you're doing with the sanction of a higher authority. It's bhakti. In that bhakti, whatever it takes to serve Krishna. So entire thing should be. So there one you have a question. So entire thing should be spent for Krishna service, basically. It's not about 50%. Whatever money that we have should be spent Krishna service. Even your son is going to school to learn something. It's a service of Krishna. Everything can be dovetailed. Baba says everything can be dovetailed in service of Krishna. Yes, there, Matadi, please.
Prabhuji, you just said the thing according to which my question is related. Like you said, we have to say that whatever we are doing, that is, we are doing for the service of Krishna. If a person is a student and he is studying, so we say that keep Krishna in conscious, and then you said that I dedicate this study to Krishna. Like then my question is, if someone is giving like institute fees and fee charges are there, how can we say that the fees which we had paid to the college is dedicated to Krishna?
See, when you're offering the result of that learning to Krishna service, everything becomes Krishna service.
Then the investment too.
And moreover, you've been told by your higher authority to study. So studying is not a material thing, it is service. Just like Arjuna, he can fight for Krishna. Why not we can study for Krishna? Isn't it? When Arjuna, as a profession, he can fight for Krishna as a profession, why can't somebody study for Krishna? Same thing. Whatever work we have, do it for Krishna's pleasure. I'll be a good student and I'll preach about it. Because when you do preaching, you must have some material knowledge. This is what you learned. One must both gain spiritual and material knowledge to come out of the material world. So even working outside, when you're earning money, it's service to Krishna. See, for a devotee in his life, everything is service. There is no material life. There is no material life. If there is no material life, everything is service to Krishna. So Prabhupada says 50% at least. And he says at least 50% at least. But the point is 100% should be spent for Krishna service, nothing for oneself, for one's own celebration. Obviously, it's a level, it's a gradual level. When one can connect everything that he's doing or she's doing with Krishna's service, and when you have such instruction from your superiors, everything becomes dovetailed with Krishna service, generalized with Krishna service. Just like when iron is in touch with the fire, it becomes like fire. So your consciousness to serve Krishna in the form of your studies, earning money becomes a service. Prabhupada says one thing important. What makes a difference between work and service? The same thing can be a work, a material work, but same thing can become a service. The difference is only one thing, consciousness. You're doing a service in temple, it can become simply a work. There are many employees in the temple, they're cleaning the temple. They're not doing service, they're doing work. So difference between work and service is your consciousness. If there's an intention to please Krishna with your studies, with your money, with your profession, it becomes service. Service is such a simple thing. You just have to mold, change your consciousness. I'm doing it for Krishna. So I see, we suggest you to, whenever you start studies, you offer first pranama to Prabhupada, then you start studies. When you sit in class, internally offer praise to Krishna. I may study in a good mood. I may Krishnaize my entire studies and curriculum, whatever. And study hard. Show an example to other students that Krishna devotees are good, they are studious. They are.
So simple the thing is, we have to keep Krishna in our conscious that I am doing this for the pleasure of Krishna.
Yeah, Krishna is liberal. He can accept everything from your side. Even Prabhupada says, if one a drunkard, he thinks the taste of wine is Krishna, he also advances devotional service. So Krishna is very, very, very broad-minded. Krishna Karuna Sindhu. Even drunkard thinks, yeah, this taste of wine is Krishna. He will advance devotional service. Yes, Jyoti Madhavi.
Prabhuji, I had one question regarding preaching. Like when we try to approach any new person for for coming into Krishna consciousness, and we try so much. Sometimes the person may take us like in a very guarantee way, like okay, whatever if we do, like even if we don't like listen so much, then also that person will come because they have to preach. Like person can take devotees in very guaranteed way sometimes. So how to avoid that?
Guarantee. I'm sorry, I couldn't understand your question to me. I mean, somebody can explain the question in simpler words.
I'll try it again.
Just because I was also not completely listening to you. I had a message actually. Sorry. So as a preacher, we are preaching to a new person. This much I heard from you. And then what?
And like that person may take it as a very guaranteed way. Okay, whatever we do, that person will be nice to us because that person is a devotee. Because we are trying to
In a
please.
guaranteed way means what? Like he completely believes you what you say. A new person believes you.
Like even if we speak some nonsense, we will be nice to them because we are devotees.
Okay, nice to them. Uh, Depending on the case, not that you have to be nice all the time. Generally, we have to be nice. But devotee has to be clever. How to respond to some maybe there's abuse of power. There are terrible people in the world, so we can't be nice to them. We have to guard ourselves. So depending on the case, sometimes we remain silent. We don't say anything. Especially in terms of one is atheist or one doesn't have faith at all. He's not innocent. He's in a challenging mood. So we won't be nice to him. So preaching doesn't mean just being always nice to other person. You have to have a counter challenge, counter argument sometimes. Anything what it takes. See, as a preacher, whatever it takes to uplift a person is our service. And as a preacher, the important thing is preacher does what? A preacher tries to give mercy to other person. Sometimes a person cannot take philosophy. Give him prasadam. Somebody cannot come to classes. So make an arrangement for such a person like this. They'll be, one-to-one preaching to them. Some people cannot fit into classes. So preaching doesn't mean you have to do this standard way, the ISKCON, how to be a ISKCON devotee, come to classes, come to temples program. A preacher has to find ways and means how he can give mercy of Krishna to this person. Maybe through the medium of kirtan, maybe prasadam. So preaching is not stereotype. This is only preaching. If you don't come to classes, you cannot be devotee. You have to be dynamic. You have to think, how can I give mercy of Krishna to this person? Distributing mercy of Krishna is the only job of a preacher. A preacher is just looking for how he can distribute the mercy of Krishna. If he can do nothing, just give prasad of Krishna to someone. Okay, Vaibhav Tiwari Madhu.
Prabhuji, I have a question, Prabhuji, regarding service. So I have an art business and I sell Krishna, basically. I paint Krishna and I sell, and people buy it. So a lot of people in temple come to me and say that people go to Krishna for money and you're selling Krishna for money. So how to answer this? I consider it as love for Krishna and people buy it, that's their choice. So how to like answer this question that it's my love and it's a service. I also gift it as a service because I feel that everybody should have it. So whenever I want to build a relation with the devotee, I gift them something that I paint or I make. So how to draw this question, how to draw an answer for this one?
whatever people might say, Prabhupada says these paintings are windows to
Krishna.
spiritual world. These paintings are windows to spiritual world. Whosoever has painting, certainly there's a devotional environment in the devotional ambience, vibration in the surroundings. Suppose in your room you don't have, I don't have any picture as of now. It's in your room, so the ambience was different. As soon as I got few pictures, ambience is different. So you're helping people to be Krishna conscious. Though you get paid for your service is okay, but your service, and some people really like such paintings, the way Radha Krishna dancing, very intimate paintings. People really like it. It helps them to be Krishna conscious. And whatever people might say, it's a service. In initial days, formative days, when ISKCON was just started, one of the ways that devotees were earning, Prabhupada told them, by selling incense and paintings. And when the devotees went to China, Bhakti Nassim Maharaj, he told me that he would sustain by selling oil paintings in the first initial years in China. And that's how by selling paintings they were preaching, getting some money always to sustain, and preaching also. Okay. People might say, even when we are distributing Bhagavad Gita, people might say, you're distributing Bhagavad Gita notes. So we don't have to care. When people don't have such consciousness to understand devotional service, people might say many blah, blah, blah. So we are helping people to become Krishna conscious by paintings. Good that you told us, we'll contact you soon. Okay, anybody else? Let us move forward. We have to complete verse 5 also. Important verse. Let's see how much can we cover. So 6 things one is supposed to do in the association of devotees. To make one's bond with the devotees, to relish association, to advance in spiritual life. Okay. Now, Krishneti yasya giritam manasa driyeta dekshasi cheta pranata bhish cha bhajantam ishama shushushya bhajan vigyam ananyamanya nindadishunya hridam ipasita sankalabdaya. Okay. One should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of the Lord Krishna. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation, Diksha, and is engaged in worshipping the deity. And one should associate with and faithfully serve that pure devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotion service and whose heart is completely devoid of propensity to criticize others. So Prabhupada says, in order to intelligently apply the sexual exchanges, one must select proper persons. Respecting devotee in mind, paying obeisances to devotees, and associating with devotees. So it says respect all, respect everyone. Associate with few and take instruction with very few. This is a hierarchy. Respect all the devotees. Anybody chanting Hare Krishna must be respected. He's the highest of all the people in the world, of all human beings. Anybody who's chanting Hare Krishna is the highest of all human beings. We'll discuss. So how we must select a proper person with careful discrimination. See, when we talk about association, not that we have to associate with everyone. Prabhupada says, with careful discrimination, one has to select a proper person. Mentally respect everyone. But in terms of association and sixfold exchanges, with careful discrimination, one must select. And how? According to their particular status. We should meet. Every line has a meaning. We should meet with the Vaishnavas in an appropriate way according to their particular status. Sakala saman korite shakati dehanatha yatha yate. Oh Lord, please give me this strength so I can respect devotees according to their status. Okay. I can go directly to the slides. In the purport, I'm assuming that you have read the purport. I'll go for the slides, then cover whatever is remaining. Okay. One thing about money we didn't discuss. So Prabhupada says we are getting this money, but everything should be spent it for Krishna. Nothing should be spent for sense gratification. According to last line, according to the advice of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, we should not give up attachment to money. Don't give up attachment to money. That can spread the Krishna consciousness moment. Don't be attached to money. Falgu Viragya. We need so much money to advance the mission of Krishna consciousness movement. Now, in the next thing, Prabhupada says about the money, then we'll wind it up. Money is undoubtedly coming in great quantities, but we should not be attached to this money for sense gratification. There is a danger for a preacher when he receives great quantities of money. As soon as he spends even a single cent of collection for his personal sense gratification, he becomes a fallen victim. So preachers should be very extremely careful not to misuse the immense quantities of money needed to spread the movement. Let us make this money, not make this money the cause of our distress. Okay? So few instruction on money. One should not be attached, one should not be detached. So this is called proper Vairagya. Everything should be used in service of Krishna. Now, in this purport, how to select a person with proper discrimination for association. How to select a person for association with whom you can have sixfold exchanges. Okay. So first thing Prabhupada is talking about Prakritik Sahijya. Who are they? They generally chant Hare Krishna and they attach to women, money and intoxication. Such person may chant the holy name of the Lord. They are not yet properly purified. Such person should be respected within one's mind, but their association should be avoided. So this first category devotee should be respected in mind. They chant, but they are attached to money, women, and intoxication. This is called Prakritik Sahijya. Okay. Now Prabhupada talks about Prakrit Bhakta, materialistic devotee. Is it so? The Kanish Adhikari is a devotee who has received Harinam Diksha from special master and is trying to chant the holy name of Krishna. Basically, Prabhupada is giving definition of who is Prakritik materialistic. How do you pronounce it? Prakrita, Sahijya, Prakrita Bhakta. That's a proper word. One should respect such a person within his mind as a Kanishta Vaishnav, basically Kanishta Adhikari. So he's trying to chant the holy name, he has got Diksha. And Prabhupada says in translation, he's trying to worship the deity in the temple, but does not know how to behave towards the devotees. Okay. Third thing, they are innocent and they're simply carried away by the bad association, should be shown favor. So those who are the Kanishta Adhikari or Prakrita Bhakta, they are innocent, they are initiated, they are serving the Lord in the temple, but they do not know how to behave towards devotees, how to associate with devotees. They don't know how to behave towards devotees. Such person should be respected in mind, not paid obeisances. Who are the people fall into category of paying obeisances in mind or of obeisances in mind only? So these are the people. They're innocent. They don't know how to behave toward devotees. They're serving in the temple or they're serving the deities. Prabhupada says in the temple, and they've got initiation. Such people should be respected in mind only. Now Prabhupada says, but those neophyte who are dash initiated by the dash spiritual master and are dash engaged in carrying out the orders of spiritual master. So three conditions are there. Those who are actually initiated. See, being initiated and being a disciple is different. Being a disciple is different. Being initiated is. So, actually initiated means he's an actual disciple by a bona fide spiritual master. And he's seriously, when you remove these three things, he's a Kanishta. He's a Kanishta Adhikari. So when a Kanishta Adhikari does these three things, he's actually initiated by bona fide spiritual master, but seriously engaged in devotional service, then he makes transition to Madhyama. Harinam Bhakta, basically. So this is from the same purport. Actually initiated, bona fide spiritual master, seriously engaged. Should be offered respectful obeisances. Should be offered respectful obeisances. So those who are seriously engaged in devotional service, we should offer respectful obeisances to them. They should be offered pranam. Now next. So three types of neophytes. Prakrit Sahijya. He chants Hare Krishna casually. Some people are chanting 2 rounds, 4 rounds, but is attached to money, women, and intoxication. He has a faith that Krishna is God. And such a person should be respected within one's mind, but their association should be avoided. The red ones. Are you okay? Take the first category of neophytes. The first category, their association should be avoided, but they should be respected within its mind. They believe that Krishna is God, but they're attached to money, women, and intoxication. They chant casually. Second, Prakrita Bhakta. Prakrita Bhakta means he chants 16 rounds daily, follows 4 regulative principles. So Prakrita Sahijya to Prakrita Bhakta. He became more serious in this transition, first to second. But he serves only Guru and Krishna, feels he or she is the best disciple. He's the only best disciple of his Guru Maharaj. Such a person should be respected within mind, should be shown favor. He needs association. Okay. Now, when he advances more, he chants minimum. Here he chants 16, but here it Harinam Bhakta. He chants 16 minimum. Basically, he chants more than 16. Okay. Follows 4 regulative principles. He serves Vaishnav, Guru, and Krishna. Such a person should be offered obeisances, mind, words, and body. And this is the transition to Madhyam Adhikari. Yes, Jyoti Madhavi, please.
Prabhuji, I had this question that when we say that like we are chanting for somebody, like if we are chanting for some particular person, so like for their spiritual growth or something like that, how does it actually work? It means like means how I just wanted to know that.
Depends on the advancement of the person. Krishna hears, Krishna listens.
Okay. So suppose if somebody is sick and we are chanting for them, like 1 or 2 extra rounds. So we are chanting for their for them to become okay, like to get well.
It's okay. It's a good practice. We should chant for devotees.
And
chanting is what? See, chanting is what? Chanting is a prayer. So that the person gets well and he engages in your service. So we can chant for anybody in the room. But here we're talking about 16 rounds for oneself, for your own progress. Beyond 16 rounds, you can chant for anyone. So next question.
I just one second part that just wanted to ask, like for somebody, if we are chanting, we should keep an intention before chanting that, like for this thing I am chanting, like when we are doing extra rounds, should we keep an intention before doing that?
Yeah. Krishna knows your intention, and we must reveal our intention to Krishna. May I dedicate this round for this person. May he be benefited. It's a good practice. It's a good practice. Okay, so here is the transition from Sahijya to Bhakta, Prakrita Bhakta, and Harinam Bhakta. So he serves Guru, Krishna, and Vaishnav, and he seriously engaged in devotional service. He chants minimum 16 rounds, And such a person should be offered obeisances with mind, words, and body. Now we come to Madhyama Bhakta. Who is the Madhyama Bhakta? So those neophyte devotee, those Harinam Bhakta, who are actually initiated by a bona fide spiritual master, seriously engaged in carrying out the order of the spiritual master, should be offered respectful obeisances. Same thing again. So anybody can become Madhyama. How? He has to get initiated by bona fide spiritual master and be seriously engaged in devotion service under the guidance of spiritual master. If you do that, you are a Madhyama. Very soon you can become Madhyamadikari. Madhyamadikari. Madhyamadikari has received spiritual initiation, Diksha, from a spiritual master and has been fully engaged by him. When everything becomes service, your work becomes service, you're fully engaged by him in transcendental service of the Lord, you become Madhyama. So Madhyama, he worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead, makes friends with the devotees, is merciful to ignorant, and he avoids those who are envious by nature. Now, who's the Uttama? So Uttamadikari is not interested in blaspheming the others. I'll give you one more mantra. Let us read first this. He is not interested in blaspheming others. His heart is completely clean. He has attained the realized state of unalloyed Krishna consciousness. He doesn't criticize. Heart is completely clean. And he has realized state of unalloyed Krishna consciousness. Second thing, Prabhupada says about Uttamadikari in the purport. Out of many such Vaishnavas, one may be found to be very seriously engaged in service of the Lord, strictly following all regulatory principles, chanting the prescribed number of rounds on japa, and always thinking. Uttamadikari is always thinking of how to expand the Krishna consciousness movement. With this definition, you can find many Uttamadikari in ISKCON. Those who are always thinking how to expand the Krishna consciousness movement, such a Vaishnava should be accepted as an Uttamadikari, a highly advanced devotee, and his association should always be sought. To find Uttamadikari with this definition, it's still difficult. But with this definition, the second one, you can find so many Uttamadikari in this one. So there are many preachers, they are always thinking how to expand the Krishna conscious movement. And third thing, Prabhupada says, quoting Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Uttamadikari Vaishnava can be recognized by his ability to convert many souls into Vaishnavism. Uttamadikari can convert many souls into Vaishnavism, into Bhakti. Okay. So, so when one is engaged in devotion service, he follows the order of the Lord seriously. And when he becomes a pure devotee, anybody who hears such a pure devotee is gradually purified. So any devotee who believes that holy name Mahamantra is not different from Krishna, even though he may be neophyte stage, others can take association from it. Okay, here we end this slide discussion. So here three things have been discussed: the definition of the Uttamadikari and how one should with proper discrimination should deal with other three categories of devotees: Prakrita Sahaja, Prakrita Bhakta, or Harinam Bhakta. Then there's a transition to Madhyamadikari. Madhyamadikari means he is fully engaged in Krishna service. And when there's a transition, he is seriously engaged. When he's fully engaged, he's a Madhyamadikari. He loves Supreme Personality of Godhead, makes friends with the devotees, give mercy to the innocent, and he avoids the envious people. This is Madhyamadikari. Basic neophyte Bhakta doesn't know how to behave towards devotees. He worships Guru and Krishna, and he thinks he's the best devotee. It's still a good level. Being attached to Krishna is still a good level. And gradually, with proper hearing, association, he progresses. Uttamadikari means he's always thinking about how to preach, how to expand the Krishna conscious society. And he can convert a person into Vaishnavism. He's a Uttamadikari. Okay, let us read something from the Prabhupada purports and conclude this. So same thing we have done. Association of Uttamadikari is desirable. And same thing we have done. This we have done. This we have read already. Who is the candidate for fit for initiation? When one becomes disinterested in material enjoyment, he becomes fit for initiation. So sometimes devotees are wondering, when should we take initiation? When you become disinterested in material enjoyment, you become fit for initiation by the spiritual master. Such a person. Such is a qualification eligibility for initiation. Same thing we have discussed. I'm just coming to last thing. This we have discussed. If one hears a person say once Krishna, that person should be accepted best man out of all the common group. Best of human being. Shrestha Sabakar. Krishna Nam Sai Puje Shrestha Sabakar. Ateva Yahar Mukhe Ek Krishna Nam. Sita Vaishnav Kariya Tahana Samman. Anyone who says Krishna once, he should be respected. At least in the mind. So Prabhupada says, anybody who's trying to advance in Krishna consciousness by regularly chanting holy name should be respected by the Vaishnavas. Madhyamadikari we have done. Madhyamadikari we have done. So one becomes Madhyama, Kanishta and Uttama based on his Shraddha Anusari, level of surrender and Shraddha. So Bhakti is a journey of Shraddha basically. In Bhakti, how do we progress? The progress is only about Shraddha. How much Shraddha you have, the kind of environment is what you will be. Certainly Uttamadikari has a lot of faith. His faith is very staunch, stable. Madhyamadikari has lesser faith than Uttamadikari. Kanishadikari has soft faith. Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Kahe Surya Nishchay Krishna Bhakti Kaila Sarva Karam Krit. Shraddha means Prabhupada says strong faith. So Bhakti is a journey of faith. So when one becomes faithful in regard to this instruction, one's strong faith becomes the basis for advancing in spiritual life. This is important. When we follow instruction, and Prabhupada says, the faith is only generated in the association devotees. The journey of faith on its own is difficult. Without association devotees, no one can advance. So we get faith from a faithful devotee. He injects us with the faith of bhakti. I think this we have done. So last thing here, this paragraph. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given some practical hints to the effect that an Uttamadikari Vaishnava can be recognized by his ability to convert many fallen souls into Vaishnavism. This thing. We have done this. Now this. One should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the platform of Uttamadikari. Who can become a guru? Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru? Does not become Uttamadikari. This is talking about both the gurus, Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru. A neophyte Vaishnav or Vaishnav situated on the intermediate platform can also accept disciples. But those who are Madhyamadikari can also accept disciples. But Prabhupada says, important thing, such disciples must be on the same platform. And it should be understood that they cannot advance very well towards the ultimate goal of life under his insufficient guidance. This is important. Person who is on the Madhyamadikari can make someone up to Madhyamadikari under his, because in Bhakti, the important thing is only about guidance. How much guidance, how well guidance we have, the well you can advance in Bhakti. Therefore, again, Prabhupada says further, therefore, a disciple should be careful to accept an Uttamadikari as a spiritual master. So one of the definitions of Uttamadikari is find a person who is always trying to spread holy name of Krishna, who's trying to spread the preaching of Krishna consciousness. He is Uttamadikari. Okay. So Prabhupada started this discussion, one has to choose association with careful discrimination. Careful discrimination. So there are three categories of devotees: Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama. Now I'll give you one mantra. One should keep a fast. One should always keep a fast. And what is that fast? Criticism fast. Criticism fast. One should do fasting from criticizing other devotees. And that should be standard of one of our association. Associate with such a person who does not criticize anyone. You'll find this person very rare in the world. He does not criticize anyone, whatever it. He always look for the good qualities. If you happen to find such a person in life, his association must be always sought. Generally, uh, I should say, what do you think? What do you think? Which categories of devotees are more in the moment? What do you think? Based on your experience, which categories of devotees you often come across? Pangadabu,
Prabhuji, Madhyam Adhikari.
or you find more
The middle
Madhyamaka?
one.
Okay.
Yes, middle one. Yeah.
Good. Shubham, what do you say?
Prabhuji, mainly Kanishta, then Madhyam, then a rare, like I would say, Uttam Adhikaris.
Obviously. So people come with their materialistic tendencies. So Madhyama will be lesser. Uttama will be very lesser. It's very rare to find a pure devotee of Krishna. So according to this definition, we have so many Uttamadhikari in our movement, so many. They're not in numbers, they're many. And once one should look for his association, who can inject immediate, his association will inject immediate impact of Krishna consciousness on us. And that person is without. So criticism fast means one should keep a fast throughout his life. And you feel for yourself how your bhakti becomes very valuable. Do not ever criticize any devotee. From today onwards, I'll keep it criticism fast. I will not criticize any devotee. It doesn't mean, Prabhupada sometimes says, calling a thief is not criticism. There can be constructive criticism in management, in community, when you have to point it out to someone for his welfare. But this is not done until you're responsible for such person. A best karma-free way to correct a person is what? To report to his superior. When we are pointing out directly and we are not responsible for someone, even we are responsible, still we might implicate ourselves into karmic cycle. Getting a point? Sometimes we have this tendency, you see, I'll teach him a lesson. There's some tendency, I'll teach him a lesson. Actually, teaching someone a lesson is usually whose job? Whose job is it to teach someone a
The
lesson?
job of a guru.
Authority.
Or Krishna. Guru and Krishna. And someone who's responsible. Usually it is Krishna's job. Usually. And someone who is responsible for that person. Maybe for a parent, his son, for a son, his parents are responsible. For a teacher, like his students are, a teacher can point out, can do that. Teach a lesson. So usually it is Krishna's job. So unnecessarily, if we criticize teach someone a lesson, so we might implicate ourselves. There's a good chance. So the best karma-free way to point out to someone is report to his superior or someone who's responsible for this person. It's the best karma-free way. But in general, one should be devoid. One should practice. It's difficult practice, very honestly. It's a difficult practice to be devoid of blaspheming or criticizing others. Very difficult practice. But with keeping a fast gradually, it will become your habit. Yes, Pandit Dadapur, then sorry, first there, Madhu, then Pandit. Yes, Madhu.
Prabhuji, like we have discussed in this class that we have not to judge. Like we have to listen without judging anyone. So in case of like discriminate, we have to discriminate. So like these two things, like I'm being confused. Without judging, how can we discriminate?
I never said we should not judge. Being non-judgmental is used when you are hearing someone. It's a part of reflective hearing. As a preacher, when you're hearing someone. But when it comes to associate with people, you have to judge. You have to make careful discrimination who is who. He's a Madhyama, I'll associate with a Madhyama. He's a Uttama, I'll take instruction. He's not so serious devotee, I'll just respect this devotee in mind. Getting a point? So context was different. When you're hearing, so that when someone who's telling his own thing to you, should not feel that you're judgmental. So it doesn't share anything as a preacher. We have to be very reflective and non-judgmental in that respect. But when it comes to association, we have to be choosy. We have to judge who's what.
Prabhuji, in case of association, the good devotee, he or she can also share like their problems in
Basically, my point was here, when you are a senior preacher or as a peer to someone, when someone is approaching to you with some problem, with some discussion. See, choosing association means what? Discrimination is what? How he's performing his sadhana, he's doing his service, what is his attitude, what is his behavior. There's certainly one has to judge. Prabhupada nowhere says we should not judge. We should judge devotees. We should make discrimination. But sometimes when we are hearing devotees, we make our preconceived notions. So with that notions, we should not hear devotees. Hear them as it is first. Was for what they want to open up for, what they want to say. So when we hear somebody with judgment, what will happen is, we'll conclude. So basically, this is non-judgmental is specifically is a tool which can be used when you are hearing a person, so that he feels perfectly heard. That whatever feelings I wanted to convey as a reflective listener, we make that point. You're accepted. Your feelings are. You may not be agreeing to it. Hearing somebody's opinion doesn't mean that you have to agree to it, but a person must feel that you're not non-judgmental in that sense, so that he can open up to you. So it's a tool basically. It's not a tool for choosing your association. It has a use for specific purpose in terms of hearing a person. Okay, and I think you still want to say something.
No, Prabhuji, it's clear, but like I have little confusion. Like if we have devotee friends, he's a good devotee, and like he is coming before us. He's in Krishna conscious before us. So we do not see him as a senior, but we should be friends so that we can learn from each other.
Correct.
So if he or she is sharing their sentimental or something, in that case, judgmental implemented or not? That's the point.
We must judge. Obviously, we cannot be affected. We have to guard ourselves. Not that you can dump anything on us. Yeah, that time you have to judge. You have to guard yourself. Obviously.
Like usually we have that like he or she is senior than us, so we cannot make like this thinking.
Actually, have you felt sometime in your life you have really done blunder in your life? Maybe somebody has done blunder in his life or her life. And he's approaching a person, maybe friend, whatever, devotee, non-devotee, whosoever. You have done a blunder, somebody has done a blunder, but his intentions were not that bad. He wants to be given a chance. Everyone would like to be given a chance, I've done some blunder. And he approaches someone for some help. He can express fully to another person only with the condition that this person will not question my intentions. He will not put a question to my intention. So this is required. This feeling is required for someone. This feeling who can approach someone, other person, and reveal his heart. Getting a point? But in terms of association, one must choose whom to associate. One must judge. Someone has come to, he has done a blunder, he has come to you, obviously. We have to give them a feeling that I'm not putting a question to your intentions. Things are okay. This happens. We are influenced by energies. Okay, whatever. We are marginal. We are prone to create blunders. A man makes mistake. To err is human, whatever. But until that person gets a feeling, he won't reveal anything to you. But in terms of association, obviously, you might hear it, but you have to judge. Whatever opinion that person is giving, you may not agree to it, you might hear it. That hearing itself does a lot to a person. And as a preacher, we have to make people to think, to find their own solution. Not that you have to tell them. You have to make people think what you should be doing in such a situation. This is kind of my answer to your question. I'll come to you again, Pandit Gadarpu now.
Prabhuji, since you talked about that we should keep a fast on criticism, so how to change people's perception about that? Let's, for example, if I join, or do we really need to change, or it's up to them whether what they think of us, even in a devotee circle?
We can't change others' perception. People might think people are what do you say?
Because
They are
let's say
helpless.
if someone
Krishna
is
says to
criticizing
Uddhava,
before,
Krishna
sorry,
says to
please go.
Uddhava, the greatest heroism is when one can change his own nature. The greatest heroism is that when one can change it. It's very, very rare to change one's own nature, but to change others' nature. So people will act according to their own nature, born of the qualities like Rajoguna, Satoguna, whatever. People are. What Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita? नहीं शायद what's the words? Jatu Sangha Karshati. Karyate Harsha Karma Prakriti Jarguni. So people are born of their nature and helplessly they will act according to their nature. We can't do that. We can change ourselves. We can change situation. We can change the perception of people. But yes, certainly we can change ourselves.
And Prabhuji, since you said that it keeping a fast it's a gradual thing, right? We cannot stop criticism in one go, so it's a gradual process. So while in a gradual process, if we met someone who keeps on poking up, bolo, up kyun nahi bol rahe, up kyun nahi bol rahe, so how to react to that situation? Because the thing that we are trying to cover up, it automatically comes in us. So how to deal in such situation?
See, sometimes Narad Muni gives one example to Mrigari. You don't bite. He became a snake. You don't bite, but at least you show your fangs. Sometimes it is required. Devotee is very clever. He knows how to behave in what situation. Sometimes you have to be angry for the sake of being angry. There's generally Prabhupada says when anger comes, your whole body becomes polluted. Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita, anger makes body polluted. So sometimes you have to show your fangs for the sake of doing it. Suppose you're dealing with laborers, you have to shout on them. That's the way they work. In some construction, usually we in the temple. So you might have to just show your fangs, not bite people actually. Ultimately, whatever it takes, you shouldn't lose your consciousness, control over your consciousness. You should not be lost. Okay, Jyoti Madaji.
Prabhuji, this question was coming in my mind that, like, suppose if when we are working in an office, we have colleagues, both male colleagues and female colleagues. So, like, when we are trying to preach, so should our preaching be restricted to, like, suppose if I'm a female, so it should be restricted to females only, or it should be like irrespective?
Yeah, anybody can preach. We see there are many Prabhuji who are preaching to Mataji, but obviously it should be done with some precaution. Preaching should be done, nothing else should be there. It should be preaching, only the same. So, three things are very important when somebody is preaching to other gender. Certainly, one has to be very polite, be limited to the extent you are preaching. What says? And be formal. Be formal. Be formal, be humble and polite, and be limited, especially in terms of when you're dealing with the opposite gender. Too much mingling. So sometimes in the name of preaching, they mingle too much. So if it is just for preaching, preaching can be done by anyone to anybody, by parent to children, children to parent, whatever, Mataji, Prabhuji. But remember the three things. So the attraction is too strong. So be formal and be polite and be limited to the extent whatever it takes to preach. Okay. So always know your boundaries. Where are the boundaries? How much we can go, how far we can go in preaching. I think Vaibhav Madhuri.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I have a question in relation to Pandit Gadadhar Prabhuji's question, that if somebody keeps on poking us and we try to avoid the situation, and then you mentioned that we can report it to our mentors. Okay, and if this happens again and again and again, and we are reporting it to our mentors, will it not make us look fault finders?
See, the rule of forgiveness doesn't apply when somebody is trying to abuse the power, abuse your intruding in your life. So there in that situation, we have to take an action. And see, not criticizing doesn't mean that we have to be so patient that somebody can take advantage of us, exploit us. So whatever it takes, we take action in that regard. Maybe you have to bite. There are horrible people in the world. There are terrible people, and sometimes you have to bite.
But Prabhuji, will it not develop fault finding tendency in ourselves as well? That we are only looking
Think
back.
someone a thief. Who's a thief? Prabhupada says it's not a fault finding, it's a truth. If you're calling someone a thief, he's a thief, actual thief. It's not a fault finding. Prabhupada says unnecessary fault finding. Necessary fault finding is required. When you have been told to find faults in the system, you have a service to find faults. Management devotees, they have service to find faults. What bad is going in the department? So they have to find faults, correct situations. Unnecessary fault finding should not be there. Unnecessary criticism should. Constructive criticism can be there. Destructive criticism should be avoided. Krishna Priya Mataji, then I'll come to Daya Mataji again.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
And then we'll wind up.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I don't know. It's not a criticism, but I have seen there's a clear demarcation here in Updeshamrit and in some other granthas also, like what is the definition of a Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Uttamadhikari. But there are certain people who say that it depends on the number of years you are in the organization. So they clearly demarcate by this. So I don't know. I mean, they haven't read Updeshamrit till now, or they want to contaminate the whole thing.
Sridhar Swami says in his commentary, a Vaishnava is not considered senior or junior on the basis of number of years. One might have spent 20 years, but has not done sadhana properly.
I have seen such people. They are taking tea. They are watching movies. They say
That's
they
not
are
that's not the
20 years.
basis. Number of years is not the basis. It's nowhere the basis. Nowhere. Even in material education, you might study PhD for 20 years, but you don't know the content.
So
In any.
So
In
I'm
any
wondering, like,
number of years, spending a number of years in any field is not a criteria unless you have done something tangible.
so, but
And
if the group also, there are 50, 60 people group, they also say, no, we are all seniors because we have spent
whosoever
so
can,
many years.
whosoever
Oh.
can say anything, but the principle cannot change. Principle is universal. Is universal. We can't change the principle. Not that 50 people say something, so it becomes a truth.
So,
Okay.
thank you, sir.
Okay, Dayamadi, are you okay? I hope you are clear with it, or maybe if you need explanation more, maybe some other day.
No, okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, some other day. So I take your time. Thank you for giving your time, and I take your time. I beg pardon and take a leave. I can continue. I would have continued otherwise. I have to go through some tooth extraction tomorrow, so I may not be able to speak for a few next days. So Anand Gosundar will be continuing with the class tomorrow. I guess tomorrow is a class. Are you okay to continue for one more day? Like Thursday was not your day schedule. So we have covered this up until 5. So 6 onwards will be covered by Anand Gosundar. And I hope you'll be relishing his classes. He is such a wonderful speaker. Okay, I'll take a leave again. Thank you so much for giving your precious time and association. And any deficiency from my part, I'll beg excuses for this. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Then-
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Pranam to all
Hare
devotees.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Pranam.
So soon we'll meet in persons wherever we can, at least for your certification. I'll say one thing yet again. You have a class tomorrow, then you have a gap for say, I think 10 days. So in the meantime, complete all your OBAs and CBAs. Right after your NOI class, we'll conduct a CBA, and thereafter we'll combine your mark sheet and it will be sent to university, and within a week or 10 days, it will come, your degrees will come to us. And we can thereafter organize convocation ceremony. Recently we did in Ludhiana, so Shubham Prabhu is from Ludhiana. So there were about 40 devotees, they were graduated. So Tulsi Mataji, you have something to say?
Prabhuji, you said that there will be a convocation ceremony, but what about the students who are in Pakistan?
We'll meet in Pakistan soon. Why do you...
Prabhuji, I have a question on OBA for NOI. So we can choose our own question, or is there a specific question that we need to attempt?
You have a question from NOI?
For OBA of NOI. So do we need to choose
OBA
our own
not
question?
given. OBA. I'll tell Rukmini Mataji, Shruti Mataji to give you OBA. I have not given you OBA. So you have ample time. So tomorrow it will be given to you. I'll give you that.
Okay, because we have 10 days, probably we can write. Yeah. Thank you.
I'll give this.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Pranam. Pranam to all devotees. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.